we're back in the game. Out of focus.
Didn't pre-warn me next time. Thanks.
Yeah, no, 1 second.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable, Jeff.
I'm in the game.
And we're going to need, when I'm on till 1, by the way.
Yeah,
Now.
man. So, Squire,
We're here.
Sam Squire's here. I am Road Pod Dip. Stuart, man.
Did we talk about him
Love
last
that.
night?
Yeah, I think we talked about Stuart. What are we talking about?
We talked about with Rico, didn't we?
We're talking about, did Rico come on, yeah?
Yeah, mate,
Yeah,
Rico was
for 2
on
hours.
12 till 2.
Oh, was he? What was he, remote?
we had a
You need
good
to go
chat.
back. You need
Was
to.
he remote?
It
We
was
can't
a
talk
good
about
chat.
it.
It was
Was
a
he?
really good chat.
Yeah, there's a couple of
Did he
things.
come
that
in?
you did. No,
No, he was in his pants at home on Discord. Or
you
whatever.
need to go back. There was a couple of things that he shouldn't.
There
have
was
said.
some controversial
really?
conversations going
Oh,
on.
was there?
Right, you're going to kick this conversation
Yeah.
off. I'm going to run somewhere for 1 minute, and I'll be back. And then Sam is going. So Sam Squire, introduce
Hello.
yourself, and then Sam is going to be sticking around as our third wheel co-host
Yeah, always
for
third wheeling.
for the next hour and a half.
So he's done.
Listen,
He's doing an hour and a half, and we're doing 24 hours, and he's being called a co-host.
Mate, I literally said to him, I was
Unbelievable.
like, I can take the rein, but he decides to plough on his own.
Unbelievable.
I would have sent the 24 hours. I'd have gone for it, but yeah. So hi everyone, it's lovely to be here. My name is Sam Squire. I'm 22 years old, and I am the ignition coach at now Inspired to Ignite. So my role at Inspired to Ignite is to help the young people we work with become self-aware and self-sufficient humans. So my background was in professional football, so I played for Cambridge United from the age of 9 to 19, and then I've been a youth worker for the last 4 years.
Mate's class.
So yeah,
Just
it's a little nutshell.
You answered all my questions. No, I'm joking. I want to go back to that actually with Cambridge.
Yeah,
How did you get originally scouted?
it was a bit of a weird one. Like, I was playing football locally, and when you're younger, you're just so naive, like in life, and I like that about working with young people, that they're just so innocent that they don't realise what's actually happening around them sometimes. So it was literally one of them where like my coach just said, do you want to go and have a training session? And it actually ended up being an open trial. But in my eyes, because I just loved football, it was just another opportunity to play, just have fun. Done it, and then a few weeks later received a call going, do you want to join a development? You can join a development. So how it worked at the time, there was 3 pillars. There was the centres, the squads, and then the academy. So the centres are basically regular sessions in many areas of the county or the region. Then the best players from that then play for the development squad, which is almost like the county as such for the club. And then the academies where you're at the top of the chain really. So I worked my way up to the academy within a 6-month period. So yeah.
So you're there from the ages of 9 to 19?
9 to 19, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so I've spent the majority of my life at a football club. It felt like I'd almost. It's weird. I don't play football anymore now, but
You don't at all?
No, but it felt like I had a career within. It almost like, although I didn't achieve anything on paper. If you spoke to like someone that's been in the game for like 10, 20 years, I didn't actually achieve anything. But I knew him personally, I did achieve a lot, but it felt like I had a career. If that makes sense. Because when I was like 8,
how old did you start? 8?
Yeah, when I was 8, I was flying to like Denmark and saying goodbye to my parents for like a week. So they were crying. I was like, see you later.
Off to play football.
But like there's so much stuff that I took from that. Like a lot of people are very toxic, and they look at football very narrow-minded. They look at like, oh, it didn't serve me, oh, I didn't make it. Whereas I'm like, football made me who I am today, rather than like dwelling in the past and like, oh, this could have happened, that could have happened.
Yeah, so my brother was actually the Luton youth team, same, almost identical to you.
Yeah.
He was there from, I think actually might have been a bit older, so about 11 to 18, 19 as well.
Okay.
And he was let go. He was devastated. He wrote letters out to different football clubs but no, he didn't get picked up. So his football career was running. He went back to school, done his A levels, and then went to university, and he doing very, very well for Derby County Community Trust now. Really proud
Oh,
of him.
amazing.
I won't tell him that, but I'm really proud of him.
Ah,
But the role the sport plays in your life now,
Well,
like
that's-
the discipline
Yeah.
that it's taught you and stuff like that. Like, what
Yeah.
did you take from it?
I was going to ask.
good question. You asked a very good question at the end. I was like, that's a great question.
Sam loves a good question.
Um,
That's his thing.
it is my job, so it's quite important.
He's the curious guy.
I'd say the thing football taught me most is, yeah, it's a mixture of discipline and ingraining a mindset it's an attitude to life, like, and that resilience. Because like you think that in football your performance, and I obviously understand in a business context your performance, your KPIs, but it's more like
yeah,
it's like quarterly. And obviously there's within day type compartments, there's stuff that there's outcomes on. But in football, if you judge your self-worth on your performance, it took me a long time to understand this. Your whole, like what you view yourself as is just going to be like that all the time. Because I was playing some weeks I was playing Monday, Wednesday, Saturday games. So obviously sometimes you're in the team, sometimes you're out of the team, and then the higher you go, it's more ruthless, it's more cutthroat. You might be in certain cultures that are horrible. And that's probably another thing that football's taught me is like how to create a good culture.
I was going to
Some
ask
of
you
the
about that.
stories you told me from dressing rooms. I mean,
Yeah, it's
Oh
awesome.
yeah, I could have told you a few as well,
Yeah.
even back from 30 years ago as well.
Yeah.
But I was going to ask you about that as well. How did you feel like when you were dropped just for a game? Was there? Did they really teach you a mindset from that point of view, or they just
No.
no?
Nah,
no. Look at that.
Is it a
It's-
conversation? Is it a conversation? Is mental health, or was mental health a conversation from a strategic point of view, from a football club to a young person?
No. Like I actually I started the conversation. Like when I was like it's not like you sit down and you do a workshop about how to deal with not getting picked.
Yeah.
It's just like you've got to deal with it. And everyone has a different way of doing it, but some people just can't actually handle it.
Yeah. How did you take it?
I looked at it as I'm going to get in the team.
Yeah.
Next game, I'm going to make sure that you have to pick me. And I've been in dressing rooms where there's literally been no reason why I can't fathom how. And that's not like, oh, I can't believe I've not been picked. It, like, genuinely, I cannot believe, like, I can't have a reason for why I haven't been picked. Sometimes, like, a manager's mindset or the politics within the football club can just go against you, because that might mean, for example, someone's earning more money than you, and then someone's getting in the ear of the chair, or the chairman's getting in the ear of the manager, going, "Oh, I'm paying this guy this. Why is he sitting on the bench?" And then he's in over you. There's all these little bits and bobs, and there's a lot of politics, and I don't like the culture of football at all. So that's why I've stepped away from it. It took a lot for me to do that last year, but it's probably been one of the best decisions I've ever made. I can't believe I'm saying that.
No, even away from like playing for a pub
You don't
team.
even watch it. You don't even watch it.
Don't watch football.
watch
And Arsenal are top of the league as a gooner.
I watched maybe a little bit of that.
Watched yesterday, yeah, boy.
But,
Is it as simple as you fall out of the love of the game because of you've seen inside that?
Bigger
yeah, and that I think that I had to really think about, like, how much value can I add to the world as a footballer, and then I had to think about it if I didn't have football in my life. So now I don't have it. I have more time. I can look after my family. I can like work, like not more hours, but like work hours that
Don't tell Alex
fit.
that, please.
Oh mate, I'm joking. But like I can do things. I can work. Like I wouldn't be able to do our Ignite sessions on a Saturday. I wouldn't be
That was
able.
a conversation, weren't we? We were having that conversation.
Yeah. So and I was willing to when Alex pitched me the vision of what we're doing, I was willing to sacrifice everything I'd put in to do this, because I just felt like I'd make more impact.
I am Dr. Pitch.
Yeah.
I am Dr. Pitch.
So no
just say.
pressure, Alex.
Yeah.
either,
I'm
is
Dr.
it?
Pitch,
Yeah.
man.
But also with like,
No, this guy is made for this.
Yeah, I know.
but like with the even then, it's funny how like something comes out of your life, like football, and all the energy I was channeling into that I put into Inspire to Ignite, but then also you put into other things. So I've done the music. So now I actually probably impact more people through music than I do with football.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is another thing that baffles me about football, is that if I put a t-shirt on that has certain colours and certain patterns on it, some people will treat me completely differently as this t-shirt here.
Yeah,
And for
I've seen
me, that is crazy. And so many people base their self-worth, linking back to self-worth, around as a player, but also like people watching, like fans, some people watching might base their self-worth on how it's crazy to think about how their team performed on that day, and that can affect the whole rest of their life. That can affect how they treat their loved ones. That can affect how their working environment.
Stories around the World Cup and
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, just one last thing on football, then we'll move on to music, and then we'll go on to Q's. Sorry, Alex, I'm just taking over.
No, you do your thing, man.
Because I'm really interested. You know most of these stories. Anyway,
I know enough about Sam.
So,
What do you?
obviously, the day you let go, I know it's a tough one, and forgive me for asking this, but how did you take it?
Oh mate, I was fine because I left everything on the table. Even I remember the first team manager. Like I remember even the person that told me there was basically a new manager came in, and I knew I was there for 11 years, and I got let go 7 days before the end of the season. So I kind of knew, like, if I've been here for 11 years, it doesn't take 7 days before the thing.
You're a testimonial.
It's not really like that.
No, it's not.
But yeah, he was baffed. He was like, "You right?" And I was like, "Yeah, I've left everything on the table."
Amazing.
Like, if I hadn't, then it would be a completely different story.
Regret. Yeah.
But I knew that I literally gave everything, and I could walk away from that training ground that I'd left 100% of myself there, and I was fine. And he actually said, the guy said, "You're better off without the club."
Wow.
Yeah, but like what the difficult conversation for me was, because I had a really good relationship with people at the club. About 2 months, within 1 or 2 months later, the director of football had a conversation with me about the future and what it could have been and stuff like that. And he said the previous manager really liked me, and like he said, if he was still here, you'd be here, and there'd be potential of pathways in the next 1 or 2 seasons. So that, like, conversations like that are difficult, but I literally wouldn't change any of my journey because you'd never be who you are.
No. So music now, and this is on my subject as well because
That's
I love
cool.
music. So I've DJed for 20 years, and we've talked about it a lot.
Oh, have you?
I did, yeah.
That's
I
it.
stopped just before COVID.
Oh, right.
I just didn't have that time anymore to dedicate to it. you
Yeah.
know, what with wife and kids, and
Yeah, it's fair.
getting
Yeah,
it.
big DJ crew in Shifties, yo.
I loved it.
Yeah.
And again, for my mental health, music means everything to me. So,
Yeah.
how is music with you? What do you get from it?
Well, it's a vibration, isn't it? And like, people don't realise the effect that vibrations have on your body and on your mind as well. So for me, music, it's a place where I can raise my own vibration within myself, and I literally just fall in love with it. Like I listened to house music for like probably like 5-10 years ago, and then I just from not being in football, I kind of rekindled that love for it, and then I just put, again, like yourself, like just it was something that I just enjoyed, and I followed my curiosity, I followed my heart, and then like fast forward a year later, just over a year and a bit now since I learned, like I've got my own events company, but it's so much more than an events company. Like I saw a massive opportunity in St Neots to change the nighttime economy, but also to provide young people with an opportunity to actually showcase their talent, because there's nothing going on. What were they doing instead of not being able to DJ? But like that could affect their mental health, because actually they've got all this talent and they have nowhere to actually showcase it. So don't get me wrong, it's like part of it is selfish, and I just love the music and I want to show that to the world. But also, the main reason for setting up my events company is to, a lot with what Alex does, just better St Neots, and actually give St Neots, around the conversation we've been having with Huntingdonshire 30-year strategies. Like, right, I asked the question, right, why can't our nighttime economy be as good as our daytime economy, and like, why can't St Neots be renowned for its nightlife? So like, I'm asking
to
these.
be.
That's what I'm saying. So what? Like, I'm asking these questions. So why can't it be? So I think I'm here to kind of like change the culture and actually give people something to look forward to, because it's important.
So one last question before I go curious entrepreneur. Sorry, Alex.
That's fine. I don't know. It's talk about it's about Sam, not about curious entrepreneurs.
Well, no, that's what
He's
I want to do.
he's just a curious entrepreneur.
Yeah, but this is what I wanted to go into. You know, but obviously you're doing helping out the youngsters now. Have you ever thought about combining the football with that, knowing how much you've learnt from football?
We did.
We are definitely thinking about doing that anyway, just in regards to referral pathways, and that's something that I've probably need to speak to you about, because I've got some things I need to tell you. But
God's sake, so every day you think I'm bad. Honestly, this guy.
But yeah, like, definitely 100% there's pathways from football to curious entrepreneurs, 100%, and that's something I'm tapping into. But when I first came out of football, and then when I I got that bursary and I became like a life and executive coach, I saw this gap and I was like, should I double down on maybe young players that have been released that need that space, like, for coaching? Obviously, some of it might be counselling, if it's
Absolutely, yeah.
but there's a distinguish between coaching and counselling. But for young players that don't have trauma but are ready to be in the present and look forward rather than look back, 100% there was a gap. But I think I was still healing. Like, I wasn't obviously really damaged, but I was healing. So I'd be kind of, and it wasn't until I went through counselling and it was ethically and personally it was the right thing to do, until I realised that was, I dealt with my stuff and I was in a position where I could help people. But then part of me was like, I don't really want to go back. It's a difficult one. Like, I wanted a change.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's not like I don't want to help young players.
No, I'm not saying that at all. I
but
didn't know if that was
I'm not saying you are, but I'm just I think it's interesting how I can still do that through a different vehicle.
Yeah.
Through
That's what I was
entrepreneurship
thinking,
rather
yeah.
than football.
Yeah.
And the difference is, and you're seeing it now, anyone can be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
It's the most inclusive subject in the world. You're seeing that now, aren't you?
Yeah.
Did you, like, you're seeing it? Like, you see it every day. You live and breathe it.
Yeah, I didn't think it would.
How impactful is that as a subject to young people?
Yeah. When you give a young person the space to really think about what they want from their life, and they know you trust them to get where they want to be, and they can pursue something that they love doing. Obviously, there's going to be a bit of shit on the side that you got to do, like any job, like anything. But actually, that bit of stuff that you have to deal with, that's what gets you to where you need to be.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, yeah, I didn't realise how inclusive it would be, if I'm honest. I thought there might be a system behind it, and certain young people flourish and others don't. But actually, it's what you've got to start with is the individual. You don't think about the business stuff. Just got to start with the individual, understand how they work, how they think.
Exactly what KD said, and I mean, almost down to the T, innit?
Yeah. So you got to understand the individual, and then you work, and then you build the right system around the individual. But like the conversation we had with that
Weekend, wasn't it?
mental,
Wasn't
like
I got to sit on the last 10 minutes. So the dynamic, human,
yeah,
entrepreneur.
Yeah.
He's moving into entrepreneur space pretty quickly right now. But
Yeah.
the dynamic is amazing, because I can't do anything. You know what I'm like? What do you want?
Yeah,
what do you
yeah.
want, Luke?
Yeah.
What do you need?
Yeah.
Would you need the door open? What?
Yeah.
What do you want?
what do you want?
That's all I ever do, innit? What do you want from me, man? What do
Yeah.
you want? I'll help you if you're ready to be helped.
Yeah.
I can't get you. I'll burn you out pretty quick.
Yeah,
So Sam gets them to a place first, the vision around the environment, the culture, the infrastructure, the ecosystem, the network, the infrastructure that surrounds a safe space. Then the conversation, that circle, the weekend. I only got in the last 10 minutes of it. I was like, wow, this is...
It's
I
really,
didn't really
it's
sell
really
many of them.
interesting. Yeah, it's really interesting how basically a mandatory thing of our onboarding with young people is they do a wheel of life with me. So they basically have an opportunity to And certain wheel of life is like, oh, this is finance, this is education, da, da, da. And I go, right, what are the most important things to you in your life?
Yeah.
And we started on Saturday. I don't know. And I know they know.
Yeah,
And you just keep digging.
Exactly.
Keep asking the right questions. In the end, you got to the 8 most important things. Rate, like, they can choose. I basically give them autonomy to everything. So, right, what does a 1 look like? Because some people for a 1 it's like, oh, that's all right. Whereas some people with 1 is like, that's the worst thing that ever happened. Some people think a 10's not impossible,
Yeah.
which is interesting. So I'm right, if a 10's impossible, what's a 9.9?
It's interesting. I do something very similar with the NHS. We call Dialogue Plus. We look at their individual traits, and they rate themselves out of 1 to 7 randomly.
Okay.
And if they go 1, which is very dissatisfied, we then work on building that up.
Yeah.
It's the kind of things we do with mental health. Very interesting.
How that layered on the weekend, which was really interesting. So I came in the last like 10 minutes and I asked permission. I said, I'm early.
Yeah.
Can I sit in for the last 10 minutes, whatever? And Sam says, I don't know. It's not. Ask the young person.
Yeah.
And they did. They said yes. So I got to sit in.
Yeah.
And when Sam hands over to me and I talk about the business side, and they put on their thing business 4. So their confidence out of 10 was a 4 on business, and I then said, right, okay, fine, that's quite low, given I'd seen you pitch already. I'd heard all the stories about this person and the way that they articulated their vision. So I said, okay, cool. Well, imagine a business like a triangle. You've got vision, creativity and vision to sell that vision, the entrepreneurial traits. Then you've got operations. You met the best operations manager ever, or leader, and Christine, who was here a minute ago. Then you've got kind of community engagement. Right, I'm only going to focus on the 3 people in this room.
Yeah.
Where do you fit? Top. She was like, bang, vision. Vision, share my vision, pitch it, be creative in the way I do it. And I said, right, so if you only had to think about that and you just had to go sell your vision for what you want to achieve and what you want to do, where do you rate yourself? Bang, 7.
Wow.
It's really interesting how young people work, actually, because
Yeah.
intuitively, and it's really, the weekend was really interesting, actually.
Yeah.
We've done a thing, one of their things was trust. So trust is really
Oh, of course it is.
So
Yeah.
trust from other people, but trust, and I flipped it. So they were like, oh, trust it from other people. I was like, right, what about yourself? And they were like,
Oh, yeah.
funny enough, they rated the trust, they've done a rating how they trust themselves 5. Then family was really important to them, and how they viewed how much. And then and then I linked this. I was like, how much do you think your family trusts you?
Mm.
So it was 5. How much do you trust yourself? 5. And then it links to everything.
Everything. That's amazing. I'm just in the time, so I'm going to ask 2 quick questions. Very
Well,
two
there's a
quick
question from Stuart.
Oh, go on, yeah, go on.
Can we
Yeah,
have Stuart's question?
Of course.
Got one for Sam's mic. Doesn't seem to be working. Let me just check that.
You've been playing it.
I don't want to disrupt. Hello?
So,
Yeah?
You've been playing around with it.
How about now?
Is that working now? Yeah, it's back. Brilliant.
Sweet.
So, yeah.
We've got a question from Stuart, and then we have to
Yeah.
invite our next guest, and you'll be staying for co-host anyway.
That's cool.
Okay, cool. So, Stuart, where is he? So, as a workplace assessor, I often find the majority of my clients that go self-employed or start their own business are neurodivergent. Have you found this with players that have been dropped or people coming for help?
Players that have dropped, obviously, I'm not like what players that are neurodivergent and
Yeah, is there a link to? Is there? Can you just re?
we can probably obviously with players. Obviously, I don't know everyone's story
Yeah.
inside out neurodivergent, but obviously with the young people we work with, so the majority
Well,
are.
I would say so. Yeah.
I'd say yeah, the majority of the young people we work with are neurodivergent, and then linking to what we said earlier about right. And again, we had an amazing conversation with on a podcast with someone who works with. It's called Send Story.
Yeah, we were.
I
Yeah.
give him a 5-minute
5-minute
preview.
piece.
Yeah,
I was-
amazing, mad. So basically,
Joe
they
McMeechan.
McMeechan. Yeah, Send
Sorry.
Story, amazing. So they basically work with young people and identify the best how they can like understand their neurodivergence and make that their superpower. So that's, and I've taken so much inspiration from that conversation.
I would recommend, Stuart, stream 1, 6.5 hours in, so 6:30, Jamie Queen,
Yes.
talking about his ADHD and dyslexia
Absolutely
and how to turn
incredible.
it into superpower. That half hour, as someone who works with young people, as Sam does, I listen to that, and my brain's blown.
Yeah.
Come February, when that episode 3
Can't wait.
that Sam recommends drops with Sen Story,
Yeah.
gonna change everything that
Yeah.
you think and understand about humans.
Yeah, I think it's difficult, isn't it? It depends what system you're working with as well. If you're an amazing facilitator, but you're working with a system that doesn't understand that visual as well as it could be, it's very difficult for you. However, I'm in a lucky position where I have a lot of autonomy, and I've got a great network with people that can help me with how I work with young people who are neurodivergent. So, well, we all are, aren't we?
Yeah.
That's
we
what I
all-
understood the other
point.
day.
We are all.
Yeah, and
We
it's just
are.
understanding it's that she spoke about the cup, or how big's the cup, how much can you fill it?
Yeah.
It's crazy. So
Just very quickly, because I know we have got.
Yes,
Yeah,
No,
I
no,
know.
I'm going to say this. You came to see Alex 3 years ago,
yes,
trying to find something.
yeah,
Have you found it now?
no,
No, good.
I haven't. No,
Good. No, damn
Okay.
right.
Still working on
He's
it.
got to fucking build it.
yeah, I haven't found it. No,
Okay.
because otherwise I would stop.
Done.
Yeah.
Might drop.
Yeah, love that. Love that. And I agree with Sarah. That
Yeah, I agree.
very lucky, and soon we're gonna.
Well, I'm
have,
lucky to have you, Sarah.
and soon we're gonna have
to
Luke
make
on.
sure I do work.
Oh yes, later on tonight.
Later tonight we'll have Luke.
Oh, yeah,
on,
7
which I'm
o'clock.
really excited about.
Yeah, cool.
Okay, we're gonna invite our next guest in, which is Lynette.
Oh,
She's just going to
yes.
blow my brain, and she's going to get all the love from all three of us. So, Lynette, I know you're listening. Come on in.
Sam, you need to sign that.
Whilst you do that,
Shirt.
sign the
Yeah,
shirt.
sweet.
And I'll
I'm gonna
do
get on the. I'm gonna get on the little mic as well.
You're going to move. Yeah, don't
Ah.
work. Yeah, okay, fine. Here she comes. Just got to sign a shirt. So just stealthily walk in.